So today's that day when I will be doing my book reviews on all the books that I read last year, 2024. Of course, as an author, we normally read other person's books or read other people's books. So yes, we get insights, we see layouts, we see everything. And then normally we just love good stories. All right. So we do read. So for last year, I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I read 6 books. Okay. And I'm going to go through each of them one by one and just give you a synopsis of what the book is about. There is one that I read that I do not have the actual book with me, but I can tell you about it. So it's called Looking Out from the Inside, the United States versus Tressa Olivia Parker. Now, this book, very interesting. What she did, she spoke about her life, where she was before she met Christ. So she talks about her drug dealing life, the lifestyle that she lived. She talked about her relationships. She spoke of everything in depth. She spoke about when she was a child and everything that has to do with the growing up. The interesting thing about it, though, is that she was very rich, all right? And she was not comfortable being in all her riches and everything, the big house, the cars, the clothes, everything. She got in trouble with the law and she was imprisoned or, in jail. And that was where she met Jesus, right? She spoke about the 23rd Psalm. She just gave examples of, the things that happened to her, how she overcome, how she became that person in prison that other women would look up to, how she started her ministry, how she actually wrote to a particular religious company and a religious organization, and they would send her pamphlets and books and all that, and she would use it for the greater good for Christ, how she got through to get out of prison. And of course, she is now a speaker, very distinguished and sought after. So that book is a very good book. I'm sorry I don't have the picture of the book to show to you, but hey, if you want to read, you can always read one of that. What I'll try to do is to get a screenshot of it and put it on this video. Then I read My Life with Bob Marley, No Woman to Cry by Rita Marley. This one. This book is the second time that I am reading it. And let me tell you, it's a page turner. You don't want to put this book down at all. It talks about the story, of Rita Marley, her life with Bob Marley, where they started out as kids, young kids, their singing career, their children that they have, everything that they go through, how they navigate everything, how he came to be the Bob Marley that he is today, as well as how she came to be the Rita Marley that she is today. It's a very good book if you want to read it, to see how people start from the bottom and how they, move on up to the top. And of course, being Jamaican, come on, I definitely would have to read this book. It was a very good read. So yes, I would recommend it as well. In regards to the amount of pages, it is a little bit over 200 pages. But because it is so interesting, let me tell you, you don't want to put this one down. 209 pages. All right. So this one, No Woman to Cry, very good. You can write, you can try it. And then there is this one that's called What You're Hiding Is Hindering Your Blessing by Tina Bailey. And Tina Bailey is here from North Carolina. And let me tell you something about this book. This book is such a motivation for me. She spoke about her life as a child, her insecurities when she was very young, or her entire school years. She spoke about the things that used to affect her growing up, her weight, the way how she looked, trying to fit in and all of that. She also spoke briefly about, her relationship, with her husband, the type of relationship they have, the differences that they have. She spoke about abuse, verbal abuse, all of the emotional abuse and everything. What I love about this book when I read it is that after each chapter, she has something where she calls apply it, and it's like little gems, something that she tells you, about, write things down on a piece of paper and all of that, based on what you read. And then there is always a prior. So if you're looking for something like this to read, What You're Hiding is Hindering Your Blessings, it's by Tina Bailey. Of course, Tina is now a sought after speaker. She's in ministry, she ministered to women's group and all of that. She's very uplifting. I met her at a women's empowerment conference. So she actually signed the book for me and everything, and I could hear a part of her story. So this is a very good read if you want to read it. And then this is the 5 Love Languages Marriage Conference, the participation guide. So I went to Dr. Gary Chapman's conference, and of course I read the book already, the 5 Love Languages. I also have it on CDs, yes, that's how many years I have it. I have his book from 2004. So that's over 10 years now that I have the book. So I went to the conference, of course, and I got this book. It's a workbook. And, a lot of things are in there, like suggestions wife have made to husband in section 4, making sex a mutual joy, how to make sexual relations more meaningful, and all of that. So it's a lot of information that is in there, about destructive behavior, the controlling spouse, understand the reasons behind the behavior, taking action, and all of that. So this workbook came with the conference. And it was a very good tool for me. I use it and I'm still using it. So I'm suggesting, if you're having any issues or you're okay with your marriage, but you just want to learn more, if Dr. Gary Chapman is having a conference near you, please go. And then this one, it's called Forgiveness, Discover the Power and Reality of Authentic Christian Forgiveness by Gary Inrig. Now this book, I must tell you, even though I finished reading it last year, I started reading it from the year before. So it took me actually 2 years. It's a lot of information, as you can see. I made a lot of markings and all of that, and this helped me when I'm going through a terrible time and not wanting to forgive. All right, so this is also a very good book. He uses stories from the Bible. He has, of course, scriptures to back them, as well as his personal views and everything. It's very good. It's power-packed. It's full of information. If you need to learn about forgiveness, this is the book. You can always have very good tool. And then Love and Conditions, Stories of Understandable Communications in Marriage by Jennifer M. Reid-Walker. That is me. This is my book. This book, of course, I had to read it. I wrote the book. All right, so this is about 5 couples, their true stories about the issues that they have in their marriages and how they navigate them, how they put their Christianity in front, how they put Christ to help them through all their issues, all their problems, for the greater good of the institution of marriage, just to hold on to each other and not to let go and navigate their problems together. It has to do with sicknesses, couples who had illnesses. Infidelity was a part of it. Couples who lost their jobs, so basic, no, I wouldn't say, let's not say basic, just let's say everyday things that happens in marriages. This book is a very good tool. I got some very good reviews. It's on Amazon. You can always check it out, of course. And it is a very good tool if you're going to be having, if you have a marriage ministry, if you want to read through with the couples, or you can use it as well if you're having workshops. And yes, I am available for your workshops, your couples workshop, your marriage ministry workshop. I also have a workbook that goes with this one as well. All right, so this is a very good tool. And of course, it's available on Amazon. So this year, 2025, I am going to be reading, and I have 5 books to read. So the first one, Empowered for Such a Time as This. Answer the Call to Live a Life of Purpose and Obedience. This is by Crystal Day. Crystal Day is a Jamaican, and she's my publisher. She published my book for me. She's a sought-after speaker. She is a life coach. She's a book coach. She does everything. Crystal is a genius. So I'm very excited about this book that I'm going to be reading. I have no idea what it is about, but definitely let me tell you, come next year when I'm doing my review, you will definitely hear about this one. Also, there is a book called Finish What You Start by Peter Hollins, The Art of Following Through, Taking Action, Executing, and Self-Discipline. This book, I'm going to be reading this book this year as well. I have no idea what it is about, but it tells me about practical tactics to grow your willpower, stop procrastination, focus like a laser, and achieve whatever you set your mind to. Very interesting. So I'm going to be reading this, and of course, I'll let you know. And of course, there's the book, The Difference is Prayer by Ruthie Jacobson. Anything that has to do with prayer, I am right in. So yes, I will be reading this as well to see the difference that it will make in my life, hoping to get some pointers. And then I will discuss it with you when I do my review on next year. Then there's another one, God's Concerned About What Concerns Me. This is a daily walk with the Father by Sharon X. Smart and Jamelia S. Robertson. They as well, they're from North Carolina. And I got this book. I went to a women's empowerment conference in, I think it was 2022. So you see how long I have this book and I haven't read it as yet. So I'm going to be reading this book. All right. And this one, coming up for air, How to Build a Balanced Life in a Workaholic World by Beth Sawi. This one is going to be interesting as well. And I'm going to be reading. That's on my list for this year. I will be reading the books. I will let you all know next year how things work out. I am in the process of writing 2 more books. One of them, of course, it's called The 90 Days of Prayer. I find that persons would say they can't pray. They don't know what to pray about. And, you know, because maybe Jennifer can pray for a full half an hour, they can pray for only 5. So what I have, I'm going to have some prayers, very short, simple prayers, just to show you that you don't have to be verbose for the Lord to hear you. All right, so that book has been worked on. And of course, my book about forgiveness, I have not yet, settled on the title, but that one is being worked on for you. So those 2 books, I'm hoping to get the manuscript to the publisher by next month, and hopefully March, February, about April, we will be able to launch those 2 books. So that's it for me today where books are concerned.